Okay, here we are back again, and with me I have James Trow. When I heard about what he's doing, I was just so impressed. He's going on Class Afloat Adventures, is that what it's called?
Yeah, Class Afloat.
What is it? Tell our audience what it is, because it is so exciting.
So what Class Afloat is, it's a Canadian program, and it's tied to Acadia University in Nova Scotia. It's a tall ship, a three-mast, fully rigged sailing ship.
And we're going to be showing a picture of that, too.
Yeah, I believe you got a picture of it. It's called the SS Sorlandette, and there is a U.S. equivalent called Semester at Sea, but it's so different from what that is because it's such a smaller vessel compared to what they do. They do have like a big cruise ship, and for Class Afloat, it's more of when I describe it to my friends, I would say pirate ship. It's got the three big masts, and you have to work the sails and the rigging.
Did we get a picture up there? I don't know. Yeah, there it is, right there.
Yeah, that's the SS Sorlandette, and it's actually the, I believe, from what I've been reading, the oldest tall ship of its kind still in circulation today. It was built in 1927 in Kristiansand, Norway.
Wow.
Which is actually where I finish next. May. I finish in Kristiansand, Norway next May for I believe like repairs and kind of adding more modern stuff to it. Like I'll have electricity. You have to bring a laptop, and so it counts for me as my first year of college. And you can do it 11th and 12th grade or freshman year in college. You travel for 10 months to 18 different countries.
What do you do for your visas, or do you need visas, or is it a blanket visa?
Actually, something I found interesting when I first signed up for this is that the parent port, one of the 3 times in the 10-month journey that my father, my brother, my family, or anyone who can come visit me is in Cuba. So actually,
oh my gosh, how cool!
I'm going with a Canadian passport and citizenship. I've had dual citizenship for quite a few years now.
Okay,
both my parents are born in Canada.
So they can come through Canada.
My dad's going to drive up to Canada and fly down to visit me in Havana, Cuba.
You're going to be in Havana.
Havana,
okay,
yeah. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, and Cuba's a beautiful country.
Oh yeah,
it really is.
It's going to be like being in a time machine, a most preserved place.
It is, and look at the cars. I mean, my God, they're incredible.
Exactly.
Greg just got back from Cuba a few months ago. Yeah, he went over there, so it was he wanted to see it, and it was really exciting to see. So now you said how many countries?
I see 18 different countries and a total of 23 ports of call because there's multiple stops in Spain. But 18 different countries. To name a few, there's Netherlands, Scotland, Norway, France, Bermuda, Barbados.
Oh, you're going to the Caribbean then?
Yeah, we do kind of a Z through the Atlantic. We have 3 Atlantic crossings, which are almost 20 days at sea, a little over 20 days at sea with no land. So that's going to be quite the adventure for me.
Okay, now let's get down to business. What do you do for food? And what do you do if you break an arm? I'm not, Dad, I'm not
God
wishing
forbid.
him a broken arm.
For food-wise, the ship has been modernized with a lot of new technologies. It has a big GPS center up top, but below deck it has a large freezer, and one of the first things we do when I set sail from Collingwood, Ontario, one of the first things we do is we go through rationing, and they actually sent an email the other day, because it's exactly a month away, saying there is a pile of supplies that you have to figure out where it goes, what to do with it, how much you can use at a time. And so that's something you have to learn, is the preservation of the necessities, food and water.
The foods that spoil quickly,
exactly.
You eat those first, right?
There was a student who attempted documenting the journey, which actually I'm going to be doing as well. And they said at one point they ran out of, they ran low on fresh water.
Oh, that's not good.
They had to refrain from shower. They had to shower using fresh water in a bucket with holes.
Oh no!
I thought that was the funniest thing.
Could you shower with salt water?
You could, but I don't think it's good for your body.
It probably isn't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So they tried to keep that at a minimum to preserve everything that they really need for as long as possible. So that's something.
And do you fish along the way?
That was something I haven't really found an answer to. I did find a picture. I haven't been able to find it again. A picture of them. I think it was a large marlin hanging from the deck, and it was enormous. It looked like they were gutting it, so I'm not sure if they're going to eat it or just study it, because marine biology is a requirement for
study
the
it
program.
Quickly and then eat it.
Exactly. Take it apart, look at the pieces, eat it. All right. So
that's okay. I know what that is. So, and then what do you do? So you've got food and water that you have to deal with, right? This ship was built in 1927, and you say it's been modernized.
Correct.
How do you generate? I mean, think about a freezer. You got to keep that cold. How do you generate electricity? Do you have turbine or not turbines, but maybe generators? And then what do you use? Do you use? I mean, is it the old "let's all work together to get on this bicycle to keep it going," or
right.
is there? Tell me. Or is this something you're going to learn?
This is something I was going to learn, and I was considering. I thought the most viable option would be alternative energy, like solar energy, or maybe
solar
some kind of
would
turbine.
work,
I thought solar would be fantastic for being on the open seas. You could store it in a
battery.
I mean, who knows how big of a battery they would need, but solar panels would be a good investment for the program, in my opinion. But I don't know what they use right now per se. But that's something I'm going to learn really quickly because I'm very interested to find out how they.
Are they looking at this ship that we were looking at, which was or what we looked at? As kind of built in, would you say, the Netherlands in 1927 or wherever it was built?
Right.
Are they trying to preserve that as being the original? Because you're saying that they did modernize it by putting GPS, which is essential.
Right. Yeah. I think, like you said, they're kind of trying to preserve it. It seems to be. It's almost the pride of where it's from and where it goes. There was a video of its arrival in Lunenburg, and just an enormous amount of people came out to see it. It's not only is it the pride of it's Christiansen, Norway. Not only is it the pride of Christiansen, Norway. It's a big deal when it does show up because of how old it is. So I think they're trying to preserve that kind of historic factor as well as get it as fully functional as possible.
Because they want to continue to use it. Because we're not going to. People aren't going to go on if it's just like primitive.
Correct.
To do.
So they do want to preserve it, but keep it functional.
So now how many are going to be in your group?
In my group, I actually just got the full list yesterday. There's 40 students, 7 university students, and I believe 12 crew members. I'm not quite sure. I know that the ship itself can berth a maximum of 70 people, and but for the students that are going, there's I think 6 different nationalities, U.S., Canada, German, from Mexico, Norway, and Switzerland.
Hopefully they can communicate, is that
right,
correct?
Right. We've 35 or so, I think 35 right now are in a Facebook group, which is phenomenal.
That's really
to have.
great.
That is awesome. I've Skyped and instant message and stuff like that. Many of the students.
So you're getting to meet these kids beforehand.
Which it feels amazing to get to know them beforehand. I mean, I can't imagine. This program's been in circulation, I think, since 1987. I can't imagine 20 years ago doing this. And then just thinking you have to show up on the spot and then just kind of bluntly have these people and you have to work together right from the get-go.
Well,
to me, that sounds kind of foreign.
What are you going to do? Are they going to teach you to climb the mast, matey?
That's kind of the biggest part, is learning how to kind of work the ship itself. It's kind of going to be, as opposed to a classroom you go and sit down, the classroom is kind of, it's a home that you're building the whole time. You're working on it. You do have to learn to climb.
It's OJT. You're learning on the job training.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's you arrive. I set sail August 22nd, or at least I'm on the Sorlandette on the 22nd, and then for the next 2 weeks or so, it's more training based, and then we run the ship. It's us, the crew.
Can you just imagine when that ship leaves port? It's like
I can't. It's going to be.
It's going to be a thrill and a half.
Absolutely.
Now you didn't answer my question. If you break an arm.
Oh, that's right.
Daddy wants to know.
There is a certified chief medical officer aboard the ship, and if you get hurt at sea, the officer will take care of you until you reach the next port, and then there is the option to be heli-lifted to the nearest medical facility.
Okay, because you are going from port to port
right.
to port. And also about the visa. Do you need a visa, or are you staying on the ship?
No, we get off the ship and we go travel. So yeah, I've had to get travel visas and certified. And I also had to get vaccinations. That was a big thing. Was getting. I had to get a couple shots. I had to get a couple different pills because malaria, yellow fever, things that from going from country to country overseas could easily be transmitted.
Yeah, you want to be on the. Well, you want to come back healthy, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So, what are your plans after this big sailing adventure? Oh my gosh, this is just such an exciting thing.
It's kind of a learning experience, and I actually wasn't. This year wasn't intended to be a year of college for me, and then my dad being Canadian, he had a a friend of his whose daughter participated in the program a few years ago. And
Oh, so
as
male
well
and female.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh,
There's,
great.
two
We didn't
sides of
talk
the ship,
about
male
that.
and
Now I
female.
know.
And so I feel like I'm going to be learning a lot on this journey, and if it doesn't count as my first year of college, then at least I'll come back and it'll be, this is what I want to do. I'll know exactly what I want to do because there'll be so many things that I'll be seeing and experiencing, the cultures, the people, the classes.
This is never wasted.
Oh, yeah.
What you're going through is never wasted. You are learning, and not only that, the idea of being able to interact, to form a group, to do something. I mean, there's nothing more bonding than that. And the people that you are working with this adventure are going to probably be lifetime friends.
Oh yeah, I feel we're already bonding because we know how long we're going to be together, and the kind of
because you've
teamwork
a shared experience that nothing like it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Have we shown the second slide?
I don't know, Greg. Did you show the other slide? I'll show it again. Yeah, we've been talking.
I didn't get to mention this I would assume that's the left side of the screen, is but below deck is where you do like the actual classwork, because I mean it is a college experience, it's a schooling experience. You have to have a laptop, it's mandatory, and then you are taught below deck. There is a whiteboard and they'll give you lessons, and they actually send you, another reason of the digital age is you get your coursework on a USB. They mail it to you and then you plug it in, you download it, and that's your textbook, that's your coursework for the year.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it's being run. It's more digital and getting a little more modernized, but the ship itself and the traveling we'll be doing is trying to be preserved as historic.
Now, when do you get back?
I get back next year in May. I'll be arriving in Kristiansand, Norway.
So you're coming on this show, right? And in
the
summer?
I'll recap the entire trip.
Recap the whole, and take lots of pictures. So, well, we're almost out of time, Jane. I just want to wish you a happy sailing. And when you come back, you're going to be tanned and you're going to be excited, and you're going to tell us next summer he's going to be on the show to tell us all about his adventures. I can't wait to hear about it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks
Thanks
so
for
much.
having me.
Yeah.
A tall ship, a 3-mast, fully rigged sailing ship.
And we're going to be showing a picture of that, too.
Yeah, I believe you got a picture of it. It's called the SS Sorlandet, and there is a U.S. equivalent called Semester at Sea, but it's so different from what that is because it's such a smaller vessel compared to what they do. They do have like a big cruise ship, and for Class Afloat, it's more of when I describe it to my friends, I would say pirate ship. It's got the 3 big masts, and you have to work the sails and the rig up top, and so it counts for me as my first year of college. And you can do it 11th and 12th grade or freshman year in college. You travel for 10 months to 18 different countries.
What do you do for your visas, or do you need visas, or is it a blanket visa?
Actually, something I found interesting when I first signed up for this is that the parent port, one of the 3 times in the 10-month journey that my father, my brother, my family, or anyone can come visit me, is in Cuba. So actually,
did we get a picture up there? I don't know. Yeah, there it is, right there.
Yeah, that's the SS Sorlandet. And it's actually I believe, from what I've been reading, the oldest tall ship of its kind still in circulation today. It was built in 1927 in Kristiansand, Norway.
Wow.
Which is actually where I finish next May. I finish in Kristiansand, Norway next May for, I believe, like repairs and kind of adding more modern stuff to it. Like I'll have electricity, you have to bring a laptop.
Okay, here we are back again, and with me I have James Trow. When I heard about what he's doing, I was just so impressed. He's going on Class Afloat Adventures, is that what it's called?
Yeah, Class Afloat.
What is it? Tell our audience what it is, because it is so exciting.
So what Class Afloat is, it's a Canadian program, and it's tied to Acadia University in Nova Scotia. It's
my gosh, how cool.
I'm going with a Canadian passport and citizenship. I've had dual citizenship for quite a few years now. Both my parents are born in Canada.
So they can come through Canada.
My dad's going to drive up to Canada and fly down to visit me in Havana, Cuba.
You're going to be in Havana.
Havana, yeah. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, and Cuba's a beautiful country.
Oh yeah,
it really is.
It's going to be like being in a time machine, the most preserved place.
It is. And look at the cars. I mean, my God, they're incredible.